26 days ago, it emerged that Prajwal Revanna now faces a series of serious allegations against him. With these sex assault tapes that had come to light and serious allegations against him of abduction, of sexual harassment and even a case of rape, the entire glare was on where Prajwal Revanna is. He had conveniently flown off to Germany right after casting his vote. To date, he still hasn't returned, and questions loom on whether the investigation is going slow, whether authorities aren't cracking down on him. How is Prajwal Revanna getting away with staying abroad for so long and not cooperating with the investigation? As far as the JDS goes, they've maintained that he is out of the party. But if you look at the political developments in the last 24 hours, it most definitely seems like they're still trying to give him a clean sheet. We'll be getting you all the latest on this story over the next half hour. Let's begin with a detailed report on all that's happened.
"26 days and counting. Rape-accused JDS leader Prajwal Revanna is still at large. Prajwal fled India after the second phase of elections when sex tapes allegedly featuring him became public. Since then, 3 women have come out, filing complaints against Prajwal and his father, JDS MLA HD Revanna. Charges against Prajwal include rape, molestation, intimidation and blackmail. Prajwal's uncle and former Karnataka CM HD Kumaraswamy has accused the Siddaramaiah government of tapping the phones of his family members.
ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ದೇವರಾಜೇಗೌಡರು, ಶಿವರಾಮೇಗೌಡರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಮೊದಲಿಂದಲೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಯಾರೇ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿರಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ತಪ್ಪಿತಸ್ಥರನ್ನ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ.
The Congress dismissed the allegations.
ಆಡಿಯೋ ಯಾರು ಲೀಕ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ರಿ ಇದೆ? ಎನಿ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್? ಕಾನೂನು ರೀತಿಯ ತಪ್ಪಿತಸ್ಥರಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ದುರುದ್ದೇಶ ಆಗಲಿ.
I think there may be some problem with him. He has some problem within himself. So I think he's allowing that. I think he has done all this dirty job. He is trying to put it on others.
The BJP is blaming the Congress for Prajwal's escape.
मैं विनती करता हूं, कर्नाटक में आपका गवर्नमेंट है, वो कहाँ है, कौन सा देश में है, ये सब पता करने के लिए आपका गवर्नमेंट को कैपेसिटी नहीं है क्या? इसलिए मैं विनती करता हूं, पॉलिटिक्स छोड़कर क्या कानूनात्मक लीगली एक्शन लेना चाहिए, ऐसा मैं डिमांड करता हूं.
बिल्कुल बेशर्म का बात है. सरकार कर्नाटक में किसका है? जानबूझकर कर्नाटक का उप मुख्यमंत्री शिव कुमार जी उनको बचाने के लिए प्रयास कर रहे. इसलिए मैं ऑफिशियली बता रहा हूं, इसका जो भी फेल्योर है कांग्रेस पार्टी कर्नाटक सरकार का फेल्योर है. एक्शन लेने का जिम्मेदारी पूरा कांग्रेस पार्टी सरकार है. हम डिमांड करता हूं, अगर नहीं कर सकते तो वो सीबीआई को केस दीजिए. बिल्कुल केंद्र सरकार रेवन्यू के ऊपर जो कदम उठाना चाहिए हम उठाएंगे.
The Siddaramaiah government has formally requested Narendra Modi to revoke Prajwal Revanna's diplomatic passport.
ಬರೀ ಟೀಕೆ ಟಿಪ್ಪಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
Political blame game continues in Prajwal Revanna's sexual assault case, where the state government has slammed central government in not helping to deport and arrest Prajwal Revanna in several sexual assault cases. The larger question is, what about the survivors? Who is going to promise the safety and security of all the survivors involved in this particular case? With you, Shivamurthy Sagaraj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
Let's bring in Sagar Raj on this broadcast to get us the latest updates. 20 days ago, Sagar, there was so much pressure, heat building on Prajwal Revanna. After his father got arrested, there's been endless talk since then that he's not returning. He's not going to be cooperating with the investigation. But there will be questions whether the center, state, nobody can do anything here, and all of us just have to sit back, wait and watch, hope that Prajwal Revanna essentially returns.
Absolutely, and think about the plight of the survivors who have already filed a complaint and who are already going through a lot of agony inside their house and don't want to come in public after these kind of political drama by the politicians, where the politicians are blaming the state government, saying that they are the people who are releasing the video, but nobody is even talking about the survivors, their identity, and ensure that they get the justice. So these are the larger questions which should be answered by the government. Apart from the politics, how they're going to take the case forward, how they're going to interrogate, how they are going to get Prajwal Revanna from wherever he is hiding, and how they're going to address the issues of the survivors. So these are the things which should be looked into as of now.
Okay, Sakai, just stay with me, because even as, you know, we're seeing all of these questions, and rightfully so, being raised about where Prajwal Revanna is, why is it taken almost a month now for them to actually identify where he is and bring him back? It's still not happened. But there's also a political fight playing out. The JDS distanced themselves completely, even taking action against Prajwal Revanna, but they're still coming to his defense. Here's what I'm referring to. The breaking update that's coming in is that JDS is now seeking action against Rahul Gandhi, because Rahul Gandhi in his campaign had referred to Prajwal Revanna as a mass rapist, saying that over 400 women have been targeted by Prajwal Revanna. JDS has actually taken offense to this, saying that none of this is true, which means in effect, as Prajwal Revanna is still absconding, still not cooperating with the investigation, the JDS, which has gone ahead and said that, you know, we're for a fair probe, is actually coming out to defend him, saying that these kind of allegations aren't true. At the end of the day, remember that there is a case of rape against Prajwal Revanna. The JDS seems to have forgotten that, busy defending Prajwal Revanna in his absence, and gone ahead and filed a complaint against Rahul Gandhi. Let's play out for you exactly what Rahul said that's led to JDS now seeking action against him.
प्रज्वल रवन्ना 400 महिलाओं का रेप करता है। प्रज्वल रवन्ना 400 महिलाओं का रेप करता है, वीडियो बनाता है। ये सेक्स स्कैंडल नहीं है, इसको मैस रेप कहा जाता है।
Okay, so that is the video over which the JDS is seeing red and has now sought a complaint against, is filed a complaint against Rahul Gandhi. Sagai, this is the JDS's priorities. You know, 2 days, 3 days after the entire video gate came to light, after the controversy, they immediately distanced themselves from Prajwal Revanna, and today they're out to defend him.
Absolutely, and you see that the leaders came out in public, and in fact they approached the DGP of Karnataka and requested to file a case against Rahul Gandhi for spreading fake information and fake details about Prajwal Revanna, saying that without any kind of evidence, Rahul Gandhi is making these kind of allegations that Prajwal Revanna has raped up to 400 people, and he has videographed all those sexual assault on his mobile phone, and even the Prime Minister and the Home Ministers are endorsing him and trying to seek votes for him. So the BJP is saying that this is utter nonsense. He is trying to make all this baseless allegation without producing any kind of evidence against Prajwal Revanna. So the JDS leaders are trying to come forward and say that Prajwal Revanna is not involved in all this sexual assault case until unless it has been proven in the investigation. They still claim that Rahul Gandhi or any other leaders who are making these kind of allegations are baseless allegations. They don't have any evidence, and they are trying to tarnish the image of Deve Gowda family as well as Revanna's family when it comes to this particular issue.
Okay, Sagai, we're going to continue tracking this story very, very closely. India Today will not let us go off, in fact, this story and ensuring justice for all of the victims in this particular case. Prajwal Revanna, 27 days and counting, is still missing, absconding, not cooperating with the investigation. Thanks, Sagai, for getting us all of those details. Now, it's been a week since polling took place in Andhra Pradesh, and only now are we really seeing the length and scale of violence that we witnessed actually in Andhra Pradesh on polling day on May 13th. A video of this has come to the fore. This is from Macherla, where a YSRCP MLA can be seen storming into the polling booth in a fit of rage and then destroying the EVM completely. That footage on your screens that actually happened on polling day on May 13th. We did get some reports of violence in Macherla, but this footage has definitely completely changed what really played out in some of the districts of Andhra Pradesh. This is Ramakrishna Reddy, who's seen smashing the EVM machine in a fit of rage because the YSRCP was alleging that the TDP was rigging these EVMs. He can be seen walking into the polling booth. This is in Palnadu district, going straight to the voting compartment, lifting the EVM and throwing it on the ground. The Election Commission has now taken note of this particular video. The CEO Mukesh Kumar Meena has been directed to inform the DGP to take strict action against all those involved in this incident. Besides that, you can expect that strict action will be taken against the YSRCP MLA here, seen so brazenly smashing that EVM. And reportedly, one of many incidents of violence that was reported during polling in Andhra Pradesh. Remember that particular video of a YSRCP leader slapping a voter after he was confronted for jumping the queue. Let's in fact get you some of the reactions on the shocking video.
As per the recordings which are available with the Election Commission, one of the contesting candidates, Mr. Ramakrishna Reddy, in Macharla Assembly constituency has gone into polling station number 202 and he smashed and damaged the EVM. So that recording, everything was recorded under our webcasting system, and then this was provided to the police. The police, after investigation, has filed a memo in the court to include Mr. Ramakrishna Reddy as accused number 1 in this case, and then almost 10 sections of law under the IPC, under RP Act and the PDPP Act have been proposed to be included in the FIR against the accused.
Let me bring in Apurva Jayachandran on this broadcast. Apurva, shocking video really. And this has come from Palnadu district, and this is a YSRCP MLA who destroyed this EVM right in the presence of all of these officials. Has there been any action taken against him so far?
Well, Akshita, yesterday the video had in fact gone viral on social media where, that shocking video you can see where the YSRCP MLA Ramakrishna Reddy can be seen, going inside a booth and taking the EVM and smashing it to the ground. Post that, the Election Commission is in fact taken cognizant of the incident that had taken place. In fact, the Election Commission has authorized the Andhra Pradesh CEO there to go ahead and slap a case against him under 3 separate sections. In fact, the Andhra Pradesh police the DGP has been directed to slap cases against Pinelli Ramakrishna Reddy under 10 sections there, under 3 separate acts. In fact, these cases have been registered against him under 143, 147, 448, 427, 120B under IPC, and also another case has been slapped under the PDPP Act against, Pinelli Ramakrishna Reddy. Remember, Palnadu has been time and again a very sensitive area in Andhra Pradesh.
The need of the hour, voting day there's no doubt about it, Apurva. The need of the hour is to use this case, set a precedent so that nobody dares to resort to this kind of gundagiri, vandalism, violence on a day of polling. This man brazenly, knowing full well, thinking rather that he'd get away with it, smashes an EVM in front of all officials. Today now, there are several cases filed against him. But like I said, stringent action to be taken so that nobody else dares to do this in the near future, particularly during election season. Thanks very much, Apurva, for joining us with all of those details. I'm wrapping up this broadcast. Coming up on the other side, Sneha Murdani gets you her Election Express from Old Delhi. I'm here in Gorakhpur, so we're spread out across the country to ensure that our Election Express touches down in every single part of India. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in.